Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Excel Tips and Shortcuts. I'm Charity. So we're looking at the text split function in Excel. Okay, so this function allows you to split text in a cell by using delimiters. Delimiters are characters like the comma, full stop, it could be letters and so on. These characters must be defined in the function. Okay, so the function takes 6 arguments. We have the text, we have the column delimiters, we have the row delimiters, we have the ignore empty, we have the match mode, and we have the pad width. We will look at the argument and how to use them in the course of the tutorial. Okay, so the first argument we'll be looking at is the column delimiter. Okay, the column delimiter allows you to split cell horizontally across columns. Okay, so at the middle of the screen is the syntax to the text split function. To split the data on this sheet across columns, we need to take note of the character that separates each word in the cell we want to split. So notice in cell A1, we have the words laptop, battery, and desktop. And what separates each word is a space character. So the space character is our delimiter. Now go to the next cell as seen on the screen, type in the text split function. Now the first argument, which is the text, is the cell you want to split, and it is A1 in our case. Now use the comma to navigate to the next argument, which is the column delimiter, and as defined earlier, it is a space character and it should be enclosed in double quotes. So after doing this, you tap the enter key on your keyboard and you will have your cell split accordingly. Now click and drag a scene to split all the cells. Alright, so the next argument we'll be looking at is the row delimiter, and this helps you to split cells vertically across the rows. So to split the data on the sheet across rows, delimiter is the space because the space character separates each word we want to split. So go to the next cell as seen, type in the text split function. Okay, so your text, which is A1, is the cell you want to split. Click on it. The first comma navigates you to the next argument, which is a column delimiter. We won't be needing that, so we insert another comma that takes us to the row delimiter. Okay, so insert the space character enclosed in double quote as seen, hit the enter key, and you have your result. So the next item not on the list we'll be looking at is splitting cells by multiple delimiters. So when you're getting consistent delimiters in the sheet and you need to split, then all the delimiters should be introduced or defined in the delimiter argument as an array constant. As seen on the sheet, cell A1 is delimited by space, cell A2 delimited by comma and colon, cell A3 delimited by semicolon and full stop. Now the variety of the delimiters makes it inconsistent and multiple. Now type in your function in the next cell as seen. Click on A1 as a text you want to split. Now use the comma to navigate to the column delimiter. So to define the delimiters as an array constant, first you need to open a curly bracket. In it you define all delimiters enclosed in double quotes, and they should be separated by a comma. Now after defining the delimiters, you close the curly bracket and close the main bracket. Then tap the enter key on your keyboard and you have your split despite the multiple delimiters. Okay, so we'll do the same for the row delimiter argument. So to split the set of data into rows given the multiple delimiter, as seen earlier, we will have to define the characters in the row delimiter argument. So we have the space, we have the comma, and we have colon. Alright, so go ahead and type in the text split function, click on the text, navigate to the row delimiter argument using the comma. Now define the characters as an array constant. First, you open a curly bracket. Now enclose each character in double quotes separated by a comma. Now after defining the characters, you close the curly bracket and you close the main bracket and you hit the enter button and you have your result. So most times you can encounter extra spaces in a cell after splitting across rows or columns. We will learn how to remove such spaces. So notice in cell C1 and V1 there are spaces before the words battery and desktop. To get rid of these spaces, there are two ways. First, introduce the split character as a substring when defining a delimiter. As seen, I went back to the function already written. So where I defined my comma, I included the space character and I hit the enter button and the extra spaces were out. The second way is to combine the trim function with the TEXTSPLIT function as seen on the screen. I imputed the trim function before the TEXTSPLIT function and hit the enter button and the spaces were out automatically. Now the next argument to be looking at is the ignore empty, and this comes in handy when there are two or more consecutive delimiters without a value between them. You can decide to ignore the empty values or not. Okay, so with the sample data, we have two consecutive delimiters in cell A2 and A3, and this will result to blank cells when there is an output. Okay, so let's go ahead and practice. Type in the function like we've always done, click on the cell to split. Now go to the column delimiter where you would define your delimiter. Okay, after defining, you hit the enter button. Now notice we didn't move to the ignore empty argument, yet we had blank cells. Okay, so note that the default value for the ignore empty argument, if omitted, is set to false, thereby creating blank cells. Okay, so let's go back to the function and navigate to the ignore empty argument using the comma. We will set the ignore empty argument to true there by telling the function to ignore empty cells. Now hit the enter button and the blank cells are gone. Next argument is the match mode, and it controls the case sensitivity of the delimiter. By default, the function is case sensitive. That is, match mode is always set to 0, but we can impute 1 to alter the default settings and disable the case sensitivity. So let's split the data on the screen using the character X as the delimiter. Notice we have both upper and lowercase x. Okay, so after applying the function, A2 is the only cell that had its content split across columns. This is because the delimiter we used or we defined was in lowercase, which is same as the delimiter in cell A2. Cell A1 and A3 has uppercase delimiters. To effect the split in all the cells, go back to the function, use the comma to navigate to the match mode argument. Now type the number 1. After that, tap the enter button on your keyboard, click and drag as seen. Now you have all the cells affected. The last argument is the pad width, and it is used when one or more values are missing in a source data that is split into rows and columns. The missing value would default to NA. We will split the sample data into rows and columns using the hyphen as the column delimiter and comma as the row delimiter. Notice the last word OVA does not have any gender attached to it. The function will automatically return NA as its value to maintain a good structure. We can choose to replace the default value to any character of our choice. Now go back to the function, navigate to the pad width argument. I choose to use the hyphen for missing values, so I will insert it in the pad width argument and closed in double quotes. Okay, so now hit the enter button and your missing values are replaced with the character of your choice. Now that's all for the TEXTSPLIT function. Please hit the like button, leave a comment below and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.